Hey folks, welcome back to the Social Media Stewards F1 podcast, episode 9, week 1 of testing our patience. But before we dive into it, thank you so much for all of the support so far on all of the podcast videos, on the audio, on all of the clips that we've been putting out throughout the week, just to kind of keep you guys hooked into what we're talking about. So thank you so much to anyone who's interacted with that. For the comments, for the likes, all of the encouragements, we really do appreciate it. And it gives us a few things to discuss as we kind of move forward with everything. So thank you so much. But it's been week 1 of testing. Not that we got to see an awful lot of it.
Well, yeah, but at least we got to see some cars on track finally.
Yeah.
And not just glimpses through trees. That was quite nice. That's the thing. These are very different animals from what we've seen in the past generation of Formula One car, and an awful lot has changed. And it's clearly taken some of the drivers a lot to get to grips with as well. I've seen more lockups this week than I think in the whole of the 2025 season.
Yeah. It looks like there's it looks and it sounds like we'll hit on it. A couple of things that have come out of the paddock.
Definitely.
But it sounds like there's a lot more that the drivers have to be doing behind the wheel.
It seems a lot more frantic.
Yeah, it does seem like it's a massive juggling act. I mean, we always thought, you watch like onboards over the last couple of years and you see them messing with dials and down straights and everything, you're like, what are you doing? But apparently it's even more involved. So
yes.
Yeah, but we will dive into that a little bit later on. But we've got the lap times from day one.
Yeah.
We can start there. We can kind of work through the teams, I think, maybe. But day one, the McLarens come out strong and topped with a 134.6.
Yes.
Not impressive, but it's day one of testing. And the field was spread out by nearly 6 seconds, just over 5.5 seconds.
That's a lot.
Yes. Now, the thing is, like, we've said this so many times when we've been chatting about it anyway, but it's hard to know what programs they're running, what fuel loads they're running, what power modes they're running, especially now with, most of half your power's coming from your battery, half is coming from your engine. You get the feeling day one was literally just get out there and shake it loose a bit.
You've got to look at the top of the field. All right, Lando only did 58 laps, but Piastri was out as well. He did 54. So between the two of them, it's well over 100.
Yeah.
And then Max Verstappen on his own in the Red Bull did 136 laps. He must have been knackered at the end of that.
Yeah.
But the bottom of the field, you're talking, 28 laps and things like that. So clearly that's drivers still getting to grips with the plethora of extra buttons on their steering wheel and all these different modes, the active aero, things like that. Talking of active aero, by the way, just whilst it's entered my mind.
Yeah.
Obviously, when we first saw the 2026 regulations and the FIA put their CGI videos out, if you like, all of the wings, including the front one that folds down, and then the rear ones in their videos, they folded down as well. But actually, we've seen quite a variety of rear wings on these cars. So some of them open like the old DRS ones, so hinge right from the back of the wing.
Yeah.
Some of them hinge from the center, and some of them fold down from the front of the wing.
Yeah.
I thought it was like one set rule, they all fold down.
Yeah, I thought that as well. It's only the Alpine that does it in the way that all of the promotional stuff from the FIA showed, where it kind of
that's it
folded back. And anyone who watched our week 1 video, our week 2, was it? The regulation changes.
Yes.
We had the video in there where you could physically see on their demonstration video that the wing was meant to fold from the front down, just flatten out. And I thought that was just the set way to do it, but apparently all the teams have thought of different ways, and FIA have obviously said nothing about it, so it must just be it has to open. But you see, I wonder, and I wonder whether splitting the wing into two, essentially, either like the old DRS style or the ones that are folding in the middle, kind of like turning in the middle, whether that's generating more downforce.
Yeah, at
going
the same
over
time
two
as
surfaces.
Less drag. Yeah.
Just to give them a little bit of extra. I just wonder. It's you want less drag, don't you? But
the thing is, thinking about it, team doesn't obviously they have different rear wings for different circuits. Will we see a McLaren 1 week with a folding in the middle, 1 week with a folding at the back, 1 week at the front? Is it a case of, are they just trying that out because they know it's got a long high speed straight? Which one works best? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I honestly thought it was a set rule. They all fold from the front and they fall backwards.
Yeah.
Clearly not. Clearly not.
That's exactly what I thought as well. But it's interesting that all the teams have got a different approach to it.
Oh yeah.
But like you say, it could be one track we'll see one track we'll see a different one.
Maybe we might see some more in week 2 of testing. You know what I mean? Because if the teams have got different wings, they'll want to try them out before they take them to a designated race. Surely,
you'd think so.
So I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, but the fact that there's been nothing from the FIA saying like, "Oh, these parts are under investigation," or anything makes me believe that actually they've just been told, "Well, the wing's got to open one way or another."
Yeah,
just do what you want with it. I know Alpine's just gone. Well, yeah, we'll just follow your video.
Yeah, maybe I don't honestly know. But I was quite surprised by that because when I first saw them, I thought, "Oh, they've just got standard DRS wings," and then it was, oh, hang on, that one's a little bit different, and oh, the Alpine's completely different. Yeah, it threw me off a little bit. I wasn't expecting that at all.
No. There's a video circulating on social media with like all the different comparisons, and it's very interesting. Very interesting to see. We did get to see Williams on track for the first time, though.
Yes, we did.
One. There's been so much talk about whether or not they were going to make it to the actual preseason test after missing the shakedown and everything being very last minute there. And both drivers got a bunch of laps in the car. I think Albon was 68, Carlos Sainz 77. Obviously making up for lost time.
Yes.
And if you look at can't read too much into the times that they want to test in.
No.
They were middle of the pack there or thereabouts. A couple of seconds off the pace of the McLaren, but they got on track to give a good show of themselves. Good to see the Williams on track, but it's really hard to tell. Like we just don't know. We don't know who was running what they were running, but what we do know is that there was a lot of tension in the Aston Martin garage.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing with Williams was it was pretty much a trouble-free day for them. That was not the case for Aston Martin. They have been plagued with troubles. And a lot of it seems to be coming down to the Honda power unit, which, as I've said to you, that is not something I ever thought I would say. Honda has always been one of those amazing power unit manufacturers, and the reliability of them has been fantastic. This week, it seems as though, from what we've heard, they were having to run their engines with a limiter on the RPMs, 1,000 to 1,500 RPM lower than everyone else. Apparently, they solved some of the issue on day 2 by adding more outlets for the hot air, more louvers, but can't believe that was purely a heat issue.
No.
No.
You kind of think that the temperature difference between going from 1,100 to 1,200 probably isn't going to be that massive.
I wouldn't have thought so.
And you've already got a lot of air coming in quickly through the intakes, which would then push its way through. And they did have those two massive outlets at the back of the engine cover that we talked about the other week when we saw the car.
Yes, they did.
So having to add even more.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great.
Yeah, it doesn't sound right. And there was different talk. One of them was, the Honda engine can't go above 11,000 RPM without looking like it's going to shake itself apart. One of the other rumours was, Adrian Newey's been far too radical with the design of the car.
Yeah.
You're like, well, which is it? Or it could be both. It could be both. But I find it incredibly difficult to believe that Honda do not know how to make an engine that can rev. They've been in F1 for how long? They've been
definitely
with Red Bull for how long? And I find it very difficult to believe, but it does go back to the rumor that we discussed a few weeks ago, when after they announced the engine, where basically the rumor was they've got the battery side absolutely nailed, but they're struggling with the ice side of it. And we were like, it's Honda. How can they be struggling with the internal combustion engine? How can they be struggling with that?
Yeah.
And then we get to day one of testing, and rumors that Aston Martin think that they are 4.5 seconds off the pace.
I mean, part of that could be because it was Stroll, but to be fair, it did look plagued with problems.
Yeah,
plagued with them.
Yeah,
it was not a good show for Aston Martin this week. No. To be fair, any of the days, they did get a bit more running in, so they reckon they sorted out that heat problem. But it there was no sort of consistency to it.
No.
It not only was the power unit plagued with quite a few problems, but it looked a handful. It looked very unstable. In which, don't get me wrong, a lot of these cars, they are so tail happy. It's fantastic. It's brilliant to see them on track and, the powering out of a corner, and it's very tail happy and slidey. And you think, ooh, this could get very a bit spicy. I quite like this.
Yeah.
But that actually just looked a bit unruly, should I say.
Yeah, I think as you said, you all look a little bit, more exciting, but that...
Yeah.
Everyone was having lockups here and there, or, getting a little bit twitchy in corners, but that thing looked like it wanted to just spin out every opportunity. Like, it looked very snappy, very slidey, very, very unstable. It's, it does seem like we bag on Aston Martin a fair bit, but actually it just looked like they're having a rough time of it at that test one.
Oh, yeah.
And... yeah, we don't really want to see that, to be fair.
To be fair, as much as it might sound like we pick on Aston Martin a little bit, I'd love to see Aston Martin climb the ladder. It's the same with any team. It's like I was speaking to yourself the other day. I've got a fella in work. I won't mention his name, but he's Italian, and he loves talking to me about Ferrari and things like that. And he said to me, what you reckon to Ferrari this year? And I said, yeah, I said, it looks like they've got a decent car. I said, we won't know till the season starts. And straight away the reaction was, well, it'll be good for Formula One if Ferrari win, won't it? And I was like, why? What difference does that make? I think the biggest thing for F1 would be if a team like Audi or Cadillac turned up this year, the first year they've been in it properly, and absolutely tranced the rest of the field. That would be an amazing thing for F1 because it'd upset the apple cart.
Yeah.
It would dethrone people like McLaren, Mercedes, and all that, and go, whoa, hold on, what just happened? Seeing a top team that's paid more than every other team, by the way, just all of a sudden win, you're like, well, how's that great for the sport? They earn more money than any other team because they've been in it the longest. That's not great for the sport.
Yeah.
But I would love to see any team win the constructors. I'm a Red Bull fan. Of course, I want to see Red Bull win the drivers and the constructors. But on the other hand, I would love to see Aston Martin turn up, and they've been absolutely sandbagging everyone. I would love to see Adrian Newey laughing his head off on the pit wall, going, you thought we were rubbish. And it's actually amazing. I would love to see it. It's same with the likes of Williams and Alpine, even things like that. To see a lower team climb the ladder is a fantastic thing. And especially when we've seen in the constructors in years gone by, one race win can jump up a team in the constructors, especially the lower teams, by one place. It's an extra 30 to 40 million in prize money. And it makes for a massive development boost for that team for the next year. So I want to see the lower teams do well. It's not just about the top teams. They do tend to dominate. They have more money for research, more R&D, more staff. But seeing the lower teams climb, it's a fantastic thing for the sport.
Yeah, I just hope it's not been like a punch in the gut for the morale of the team, because you gotta think that the team from the factory all the way to the top have probably been thinking, we've got Adrian Newey, who's like the most renowned car designer in F1 history. We've got Honda, who've been in the sport for so long. That's a parent. Oh well, Newey's been designing Honda cars for the last however many years. It's going to be a good year. It's going to be a great year, and then they turn up, and it's just the week from hell for them. I just hope it hasn't been an absolute punch in the gut morale-wise, and that whatever the issue is, they can get it ironed out between now and the next test, and get the car on track and get some good data, get some good runs, and actually start to feel better about the whole thing, because it would be gutting for them, I think. And there was a shot of Lawrence Stroll leaving testing, looking absolutely fuming, and I've got my own thoughts on that. In terms of now it's important.
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden now it's important to get the best out of everything.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in a position to. Yeah, you put the money into the team and everything, but you haven't put the best drivers in the seats, so I don't want to hear it. Exactly. I'm more concerned about the mechanics, the factory workers, the ones who put their heart and soul into it, not just opened a wallet.
Of course.
And they've been thinking, right, this could be the year where we take a swipe at the guys at the top.
Yeah.
And genuinely so. They every right to think that. Honda engine, Adrian Newey car, you got every right to expect that you might get something that's going to take a swipe at the top guys.
And I still hope they can pull that off.
Yeah.
Even finishing, in the top 5 in the constructors will be a great improvement for them. They've still got a good amount of time. And Adrian Newey's always said, the car you see in Barcelona and then in Bahrain will be nothing like what we start the season with, and it'll be nothing like what we end the season with. So if he, in true Adrian Newey style, has got the aero sorted or very quickly worked out, shall I say, I just hope the power unit can match it. Because what I wouldn't want to see is it to be, the aero is absolutely on point. If we only had gone with a Mercedes engine, we'd be laughing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That would be gutting. But I hope it's even just a great improvement for them for the season, like you say, for the team, because there are thousands of people working behind the scenes that we never get to see. Who are just normal people like us, working all the hours God sends to get that car ready and right. So for it to just be a failure, I'd hate to see that.
Yeah.
I really would.
It's interesting. You look at the time and you're like, well, day one they were 5 seconds off the pace now. But again, you're like, you don't know what the whole thing goes. Yeah, they were running limited, but even the Alpine was even slower again. Colapinto was like 5.6 seconds off the pace, not 5.2. The concern was over the 3 days he didn't really show much improvement. Whereas all the other teams
that was
didn't
the
pick
problem.
up. They were still 4.5,
Yeah.
5 seconds off the pace by the end of day 3.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, well, hopefully it's something you can figure out, and hopefully it's something, if it is down to the engine.
Yeah.
Like, there was a funny image on the socials, and basically one of the Honda techs was outside the suite, you know, the trackside, you know, and he was outside with a laptop and a cushion, and like, he's been kicked out till he can sort the problem. Like,
I like that.
Poor
I
fella.
like that.
Poor fella. But I mean, that wasn't the only kind of controversy, so to speak, to come out of the first couple of days of testing. But I don't know if we hold down for a little bit and just like kind of look at where we got to by day 3 time wise.
Let's have a look at day 2, shall we? So the one thing you were saying before as well is obviously day 1, 134.669 was the fastest lap. That was Lando Norris.
Yeah.
But around Bahrain last year, what was the pole lap? Did you say 129?
129.841.
Yeah. So I mean, we're still a good 4.5 seconds. Yeah. Well, 4.7 seconds slower.
And that was
than last year.
That was last year's McLaren. That was Oscar Piastri.
Yeah, exactly. So it just shows, obviously, these haven't been sort of all-out qualifying laps, or at least we certainly hope not. No. Because also on day 1, we got the fastest top speed, which was 344 kilometers an hour, and that was from Max down the straight, I believe. So they are certainly quicker in a straight line than previous F1 cars.
Yeah.
Whether or not they can maintain that for as long, it's yet to be seen.
Yeah. The battery.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone's seen the video of, was it the Audi? Coming around
it was an Audi, yes.
Coming around the last...
hang on.
Oh, gone. Sorry.
Just before you get onto that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but when Audi turned up at testing, their side pods have had like a cheekbone thing, and they're like this.
They're like a Botox thing, like.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. It was like they'd been modelled on somebody's jawline, and you're like, where did those side pods come from? They are like nothing on any other car. They are unreal.
It's like, you know, sometimes you kind of poke a hole in something and just kind of blow air into it and kind of go.
It looks like one of those weird fish. Yeah, it looks like one of those weird fish.
Puffer fish, like. Yeah, it looks so weird. Like it does. It looks. You look at the kind of the front on, and it almost looks like the kind of dish a little bit before kind of bulging out. You know, I don't know how that works for aerodynamics.
I mean, to be fair, it doesn't look like it works too bad on the timings. I'll give them that.
No. They were kind of quicker than most of the midfield for the testing. But yeah, the battery issue looks like it could be a big one. For anyone who hasn't seen the clip that's doing the rounds on socials, the Audi comes around the last corner, fully charged battery wise.
Yeah.
Or appears to be fully charged. And then they nail it out of the corner. And you say before the pit end of the
it was basically the pit entry.
Yeah.
So basically just on or just in line with or just after the pit entry, they were completely devoid of battery.
Yeah.
So going down the main straight, the battery runs out, you see the revs drop, and they are stuck in 7th gear all the way down that straight. Now, obviously, looking at the dash, the way Sky Sports have highlighted or whatever, it looks like it's fully charged when they make that go down the straight.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that bar goes all the way along the bottom of the steering wheel or what, but from what they're showing us, it's fully charged and it ran out quicker than your brand new toy runs out on Christmas Day. It was so quick. It was unbelievable. Yeah.
I was having a hard time believing it, and I'm trying to, in my mind, I'm trying to kind of go through the scenarios. Were they doing a battery dump? Were they doing any kind of right. But then you couple that with what other drivers are saying.
Yeah.
Like, Fernando Alonso talking about turn 12, for example, and we'll come to the quotes later, but he's like, we've got to decide whether we want to put a foot down through a corner or harvest battery.
Yeah.
Because where we deploy the battery, we want to deploy it on the straights because it's not going to last long. And you're like, it makes me think that actually that was just a full on, right, foot down, here we go, oh, we're out. And if that's the case, that was only a couple of 100 meters.
Oh yeah.
And then you think about tracks like Monza, where you have the long straight before the parabolica, then the parabolica, and then the long straight down to turn 1. You got Vegas, which is nearly 2 kilometers long, that straight.
Yes.
There's no way they're going to be fully deployed on either of those tracks along the straights.
No, I mean, in the regulations, it did say before the season, so at different tracks, they'll have different speeds at which the battery will give out its energy. So it would have different modes effectively for different circuits. So sometimes it can be the entire thing is gone in 3 seconds, right the way up to your biggest, longest straights of 7 seconds. So whether or not Audi were just testing out, a different mode, and it was like, this would be for your shorter straights, and that's the one that made air, or because obviously, I know we'll come on to the comments, but when you look at what Toto Wolff was saying with the Red Bull, he was saying the Red Bull has absolutely nailed its regen, and you look at it, Max was managing to deploy pretty much the whole length of that straight. So I can't see how a Red Bull can deploy the whole length of the straight, but the Audi was gone in that amount of time. So I do wonder, is it a mode they were testing?
Yeah, where they were testing that 3 second dump rather than the thing. But then you look at that, it generates more questions for me.
Yeah.
Like, if some tracks are literally going to be a 3 second dump of power along the straights, it's going to be like hitting the brakes the moment that battery runs out. And you're going to see all the cars like nail it out of the corners and then all of a sudden go so pedestrian halfway down the straight. And and this is the pinnacle of motorsport.
I wonder where so something like, if it was, as low as 3 seconds for the quickest one, is that the likes of your Monaco? So if you pull onto the main straight there, 3 seconds, you'll be nearly at turn 1. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Is the honest answer? I don't know. Until we see it play out, I'm not sure.
Oh, of course. But then, again, it's all a question. If there's a 3 second dump here, but it's a 7.5 second dump somewhere else, that means the cars aren't going to go as quick on the 7.5 second one because they've got to make that battery last. So they're not going to be able to hit the speeds. So you're going to have those 2 kilometer long straights where they've got to make that same battery last for 7.5 seconds. So you are going to be artificially limiting the top speed of them by how you can deploy the battery.
I suppose so, but I mean, if Max can hit 344 on an artificially limited speed, I mean, that's not bad going.
Well, that wouldn't be an artificially limited one, though. That's a full deploy on a shorter straight.
Well, but that's the point. He lasted his entire battery dump the whole length of the straight, pretty much. That's what I'm saying. That was when he hit that top speed. So if that is the 7 second dump and you're getting up to 344, that's not bad going. That's faster than anything we've ever seen.
I get that, but Vegas, I come back to Vegas with it. They're on that straight for longer than 7 seconds.
Yeah, definitely.
We've driven that so many times on F125. Obviously, not to that skill level, but you're on that straight for a long, long time.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So your battery, you're going to choose where to deploy along that straight. You're going to. You're going to deploy out the corner, or you're going to just play catch up and deploy later on. And
Well, I mean, it depends which part of the pig you're driving around. That's the problem.
It does.
If it's one of the hoofs, you're all right.
I just think, like, last season before that, you'd hit those straights and you would just be full on the entire length of the straight. You know, at Monza, from the moment you come out of that chicane, you'd be full on. You'd lift slightly for the parabolica, but halfway through the parabolica, you're back on again until the braking board at turn 1. You know, with ERS, if you had it, and that was lasting, depending on, your battery management, but it seems to be lasting a lot longer than 3 seconds or 7.5 seconds.
The idea was, I mean, the battery in, the last regulation was a boost just to give you a bit more power. This is 50-50.
Yeah.
And I suppose the problem is at the moment we're only seeing one car at a time go around. We've seen the odd little bit where, somebody's tried a little cheeky overtake to see what it's like and things like that. But until we see 22 cars all trying to chase each other around, seeing how all of this battery works. And the thing is, how much of it is going to depend on the battery and how much of it is going to come down to tiny bits of boost coming out of corners maybe, and then all of this active aero. It's until we see them traveling in each other's air using things like the active aero and everything, I don't know. Yeah, it's such a massive regulation change. This isn't like in years gone by where they've just gone, we're just going to change the aero. This is, they've changed everything about it all in one big hit.
I think we're trying to draw conclusions, and it's just like I say, it's just questions right now. Like, it's just making more questions for me. Like, we're not going to, as you say, we're not going to see them answered until maybe halfway through the season. But that, like, seeing little bits that have come out the first couple of days of testing, plus some of the driver insights, so to speak, have got me worrying about. We've gone from being like dead excited a couple of weeks ago. We were saying this just before, like, oh wow, new cars, new regs, they look lively. Some of the drivers are really enjoying them. To seeing things coming out of testing where they're finally really kind of letting them go here and there, and we're like, oh, hang on, it's not looking as optimistic as it was a couple of weeks ago.
No, you're right.
And I love the sport. And for me, it's always been like the pinnacle of motorsport where everything's on the ragged edge.
Yes.
The car, the driver, the mechanics, the pit crew, everything's right at the cutting edge of it. And you're like, it feels maybe technically, mechanically, we've taken a step back. That's what it feels like at the moment. And you're like, oh, okay. Well, how's this actually going to play out? Are they really going to be 3 or 4 seconds slower at Bahrain?
Yeah.
When it actually boils down to it, where they've been testing, is the liveliness of the cars going to make up for the fact that they're a little bit slower? Is the strategy of where to deploy, where to harvest, is that going to make up for it as well? But it just feels very weighted in a kind of feeling at the moment.
I think my big issue with it is when do you ever see any motorsport coming out going, do you know, it'd be a great idea? Let's make everything less powerful. Let's make it less powerful because that'll be more fun and people will really love that. When do you ever hear that? Seriously. I mean, all right, I get that they want to be, aren't we lovely and net zero and all that. Well, do you know what? Stop flying VIPs from all over the world in private jets if you want to do that. Close the pit lane. I don't care about all these people walking up and down the pits going, oh, I'm a famous rapper. Nobody cares about you. I'm here to watch the F1. If you want to be net zero and save the planet, stop shipping VIPs here, there, and everywhere. Stop shipping 200 bottles of champagne every weekend. Give over. Let the cars be what they are. It's a joke.
I just love it when the VIPs are on the thingy and they're like, oh, I love F1. I really love F1. And they have no clue who Martin Brundle is.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, oh, you really love F1, do you? You've just ignored like an icon of the
who's
sport.
Martin Brundle?
Yeah, I think we had a brief chat about this just before we went live as well. But like the whole thing with this was, how do we change the engine design to lure in more engine manufacturers? Well, to do that, let's do it in a way that helps their development of their road cars. And Europe are going for a big push for all electric, especially the UK from 2030 onwards. You're not allowed to sell, fossil fuel cars. It's all electric cars, brand new. We haven't got the infrastructure for it. It isn't going to happen. But this is why these rules were brought in. Like, how do we adapt to make it more appealing for other manufacturers to make engines for F1? Oh, let's go down the more electric route. I see what the thinking was. Thinking that's where Europe were heading, where they were going. But anybody with two eyes could see that the infrastructure wasn't in place isn't it, and won't be in place for that to be a thing by 2030 anyway. Why not just say, right, this is the pinnacle. If you want to make an engine, make a quick engine.
Yeah.
You want to strap a battery to it to help it go faster, do it. But make an engine. It does feel like it's just a step back to please the wrong people.
Yeah, well, I don't actually see the logic in it. Saying we're going to do this because, it appeases, the way Europe's going and things like that. Europe is going to make a massive U-turn on this anyway, because it can't happen. Like you said, there's no infrastructure there anyway. And actually, I just don't see the point in doing it in Formula One.
No.
There's so many other ways you could do it. If you want to go out and hug trees, be my guest. But Formula One is not the place for it. And if you really want to make it environmentally friendly, well, why are they going from Europe to America, back to Europe, down to Australia, back to Europe, back to America? If you really want to make it environmental, do all of Europe in one go, all of America in one go. Stop globe hopping here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah.
Surely.
We've said that before, haven't we? We've really said that before. Definitely.
Yeah. I just think it's the wrong way to go. I really do. By all means, add in battery power and all that. Great. Because when it was ERS, works a treat. You know what I mean? Brilliant. But don't all of a sudden go, we're going to halve the power of all the engines just to shove a battery in there because we think it's nice for what Europe's doing in years to come. What? Don't be stupid. It's if you want to, why not change the safety car to a Tesla if you want to be environmentally friendly and have electric? Do you know what I mean? Don't do it like this. It's pointless. Yeah. It's absolutely pointless.
It just feels like like I say, it's just the first 3 days of testing have just thrown up more questions than answers. I mean, it generally does throw up more questions, but it's actually thrown up a bit of trepidation as well in terms of like.
And don't get me wrong. It's not that I'm not excited for the season. I'm still very much excited for the season, and I'm just hoping that this is more. The drivers are going to take longer to get used to it.
Yeah,
and I know that some drivers aren't particularly happy. We'll get onto that shortly, but I do think once they're actually in a race scenario and the car has been sort of finally set up and they're doing qualifying and whatever, maybe it'll be like, right, this is a different animal. rather than just slap some tyres on it, massive fuel load, go out there, and so we can measure air for 100 laps. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I really hope these problems are more than we think they are.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Obviously, like I say, we'll come to what the drivers have said about it, which doesn't help.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help with the field, so to speak.
No, it doesn't.
But we will come to that. But we look at like day 3. By the time we get to it, like
yeah,
we see the times definitely improve. So you can see like the drivers are definitely getting a bit more used to the car.
Yeah.
But then like by day 3, Merck have got like the 2 fastest laps.
Yes.
You're starting to wonder, is this engine related now? Is it...
Yeah, who knows?
But like again, the field was still kind of separated by 5 seconds.
Yes, they were. Yeah.
And weirdly enough, between day 1 and day 3, exactly the fastest lap is exactly 1 second faster. Exactly 1 second faster.
It was,
like 134.669 day 1, 133.669 day 2. I actually thought it was a bit of a weird thing. But from the looks of it, though, everybody improved. Like even
they did.
You know, even again, we were talking about the Aston Martin before. They were still 4.4 seconds off the pace, nearly 4.5 seconds off the pace, but they were quicker than Valtteri Bottas in the Cadillac. They were, half a second slower than the Audi with Bortoletto. So it makes me wonder whether, it's not as gloomy as they think. But you look at the laps on day 3.
Yeah.
Like some of them drivers absolutely put in shifts.
By the way, just while we're looking at the times, flick through from day 1 to day 3, right? So flick through day 1, day 2, and day 3. What's the most surprising there? Right?
The Haas on day 2.
Yeah. Well, it's 4th.
And the Haas on day 1 and day 2. Yeah.
It's 3rd on day 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then you've got 7th and 9th on day 3. It's just like, I wasn't expecting to see them as high up, if you like.
No.
Normally they're sort of around the Williamsy area, down below. I mean, the Williams has been very consistent on all 3 days. I'll give him that. But I wasn't expecting to see the Haas that high up.
No.
Right behind the Red Bull on day 3. That's good going. That's good going.
Yeah, and like day 3, they both
sneaky.
Day 3, they both put over 70 laps in.
Yeah. I mean, Behrman on day 2, 130 laps.
Yeah, he was obviously getting very comfortable in that car by the end of that.
Very, very.
So what's that? Nearly 200 laps over 2 days for Behrman.
Yeah. He'll be like Stretch Armstrong by the end of that week.
Ocon's the same, actually. Day 1 and day 3, he's over 180 laps in the car.
I mean, day 3, Colapinto, 144 laps. Lewis Hamilton, 150. Piastri did 161 laps on day 3.
Yeah, and Lawson did 119.
Good grief. That's incredible, that.
Yeah. They are huge stints to be putting in on the last day.
Yeah.
Like,
to be fair, on any day.
Well, yeah, you kind of wonder, like, did they shake down the cars enough day 1 and day 2, and then just went, right, go get us some data. We've dialed these in a touch. Go and drive the wheels off these things, or go drive the nuts off these things and see like what falls off.
Yeah, I suppose they're wanting to see. You do the initial shakedown, don't you? And then you'll go out and it'll be like, let's see consistency, because that's what you want to see. You want to see consistency, don't you?
Yeah.
Because you want to know if you're managing to put in a 134 or 135 that you can consistently put in a 134 and 135.
Yeah.
And that naturally grows as the tires degrade, if you like. You know what I mean? It's a race simulation, isn't it, on a biblical scale?
Yeah, you kind of got to. We talked about the energy and the battery and the recharge and the deploy. That's dialing in where you're harvesting, how you're managing that energy throughout the lap, and as you say, can you get consistent with that?
That's it. Yeah,
because it's no use if you like one lap's a 133.7 and the next one's a 135.6. There's no, because it's always amazed me, in the past where like they've been mid-race and the pit walls come over, the race engineers come over and gone, yeah, we need 134.7s.
Yeah,
and you're like, whatever, and then next thing you know, the next 5 laps, 134.75, 134.72, 134.7, and you're like,
yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Yeah.
You are literally nailing this to within a couple of hundredths on every single lap, like consistently. And you're like, how on earth do you do it? Well, I guess by putting in 160 laps on test day.
Exactly. Yeah.
And getting a feel for the car.
Oh, yeah.
But something funny did happen on day 3.
Go on.
Funny and concerning.
Was this the test start?
The test start.
Oh, man. This is not good.
It's another thing that's adding to the bundle of what the hell is going on.
Yeah, so for a little bit of context, what they're basically saying is now, apparently this was brought up by Ferrari a good 12 months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So for the boost to be ready from the off, if you like, so from a standing start, for the boost to be ready from the turbos, you have to rev the engine at basically max RPM for 10 seconds for the boost to build up. So it's effectively turbo lag. That's what it is.
Mm.
So to build up the correct amount of boost, top revs for 10 seconds before the car will sort of give a proper pull away, if you like, at full power. Ferrari did raise this apparently to the FIA 12 months ago, and the FIA just went, yeah, don't worry about it. And nothing's been sorted with it.
Mm.
But when it came to this test start, it is funny because the cars were sat there for so long and you can hear them just revving like crazy.
Yeah.
And then the lights change and some of them pull away straight away. Some of them are still sat there revving and then they pull away because obviously it's not a proper race start. They were just doing it for fun. But then the Alpine pulled away, and by turn 1, it went into anti-stall because it didn't have enough power. And you think, this can't be for real, surely.
No. Yeah, so Ferrari brought up the turbo lag issue a year ago and were basically laughed out. They were like, everyone was like, no, you're not to worry about, don't worry about it, it's fine.
Yeah.
But apparently now it's an issue and they all want to talk about it and they want to adjust the race start procedure, surprisingly. And Ferrari have gone, nah, you're all right.
Yeah.
We've developed ours in such a way it doesn't require 10 seconds because you told us a year ago not to worry about it. So we just developed ours in such a way that we don't need the 10 seconds. If you do, oh well, never mind. So now there's talk of not only the Mercedes engine issue being spoken about and possibly voted upon, but also the race start procedure to allow them the time to. So essentially, what's going to happen is you're going to go on the formation lap. If it's changed, you're going to go on the formation lap. You're going to come back around. You're going to park up. Now, if the regulation doesn't change, it's going to benefit whoever parks up first because they're going to be able to spin up. So if the higher up the field you qualify, the better it's going to work out for you because you're going to have more time to spin up your engine. But if you're at the back, you pull in, the lights go red, green, you're still revving your engine trying to get the power, you're out of luck.
Yeah, I mean, it's either that Or will it be a case of, as you're pulling up to the grid, do you pull the clutch, floor the throttle whilst you're trying to get it into position?
That's going to be what's going to have to happen, isn't it? If you're so you've got to try and keep an eye on your line whilst you pull the clutch and you're keeping the revs high whilst changing whatever you're going to change on the steering wheel to get into the right mode to charge the to wind up the turbo. But if they do vote through a change, and I'm going to guess it's not going to happen because Ferrari have a way of making things not happen if they don't like it.
Yes.
But if it does change, you're going to go round on the lap. The last car's going to come in, and then you're just going to sit there for a minimum of 10 seconds, hearing cars throwing pistons and bolts out of the engine cover.
Yeah.
For 10 to 12 seconds, and then the lights are going to go out, and then you're going to get away, and hopefully you've revved up enough to get away.
Yeah.
But it adds another question. Durability.
Oh, yeah.
If you've got to sit there just revving it full tilt for 10 seconds, going nowhere.
Yep.
Are you going to be able to get through the season with just 4 engines?
Who knows? I mean, there was a couple of some people did test starts from the pit lane, and that had exactly the same effect. And you saw people not even making it as far as turn 1, but going on the exit road before turn 1 because they were going into anti-stall.
Yeah,
and you think, that is crazy.
There's a brilliant clip of someone who's basically doing like a pit lane trackside like coverage.
Yeah.
And as he's doing it, Lewis Hamilton's 5 feet away, just revving that engine like full tilt, ready to do his. And they're just like, well, what's this?
Yeah, what's he doing? Yeah,
it's baffling. Like, part of me would be like on Ferrari's side, in saying, no, you're all right. We tried to raise this 12 months ago. You didn't want to listen then. We don't want to listen now.
Yeah.
Right. Part of me is like with Ferrari on that. If they kind of vote, no, we'll keep it the way it is, and we're going to have to start procedure because it's an advantage to us. But the other part of me is like, but do I really want to see just 2 cars get away from the line every single race, whilst everybody else is.
I think the thing is, regardless of what Ferrari think on this, I think they'll put it down to a safety issue. Because it is a safety issue.
It's the only way to get it past, I think.
Because the thing is, all right, the 2 Ferraris might get away every week, no problem, but they might not be starting first and second.
No.
So if they're starting, I don't know, 4th and 8th or something, and all the other cars, because they'll all move off the line. It's not like they won't move, but it's the fact that they will go into anti-stall. Well, I'm sorry, you're just asking for accidents.
Yeah.
So I think the FIA will go, do you know what, actually? They'll either look at changing the race start procedure, or will they look at maybe, I don't know, will teams be allowed to modify the way the turbo spools up? Could you spool it up using the battery for the race start? I don't honestly know. Pie in the sky. I don't know.
Yeah, it's one. I don't say. I don't want to see that kind of start where only a couple of cars get away and there's possible danger. But I do understand Ferrari's logic on it and going, we tried telling you.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it was just another thing after a couple of days of watching batteries deplete and cars locking up, and then all the talk coming out, and then you see that start, and you're kind of like, oh no, what is going on right now? I don't want it to be this circus that it looks like it could be for the start of the season.
You would think that advantage that Ferrari are talking about, especially for the race start, that would be anyone with a Ferrari engine.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, the Hasses and the Cadillacs as well, they'd all be all right getting away from the line, you would think.
Yeah.
But even so, that is a safety issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the way it'll get pushed across. I think that's the way McLaren want to push it across. And yeah, you can kind of get that. Like, you don't want someone going up the back of somebody else because it looks like they've, slammed the brakes on after launching.
Oh yeah,
which is essentially what anti-stall will do. It'll just stop them from.
Of course it will.
So
yeah,
it is a safety issue.
Yes,
but it always makes me laugh though with things like this when teams bring up an issue, because you kind of got to think that a lot of the teams like, oh, you're only bringing this issue up for gamesmanship because you can't figure it out. We've got 12 months to figure it out. We'll figure it out. So no, we're not going to listen to you now, Ferrari. When actually it's Ferrari the ones who've gone away and gone, well, okay, well, we will figure it out. In those 12 months, and the others haven't really thought about it that much. It looks like, because if they had, they wouldn't be having to sit there revving them like full tilt. Yeah, it's so strange how it's. I feel like I've gone from being like so optimistic 2 weeks ago, to now being worried about these new engine regs.
Yes.
I love the fact that cars look a little bit smaller and look a bit more aggressive and look a little bit more,
a bit lively.
Go-karty in that sense.
Yes.
I love that. But I'm like, is the engine going to be the thing that dampens the whole reg change?
Agreed.
Because what a couple of the drivers have said hasn't been great either.
No. Should we get on to that?
Yeah, I think we should.
Go on then.
So it all kind of kicked off with Max.
He's such a troublemaker.
He shouldn't be allowed out. So I'm trying to make sure I bring up the right quote here. So this is what Max said, and I'll read it. I've taken the quote of it there. To drive, they are not a lot of fun, to be honest. I would say the right word is management. It's not very Formula One like. It feels a bit more like Formula E on steroids, but the rules are the same for everyone, so you have to deal with it. As a pure driver, I enjoy driving flat out, and at the moment you cannot drive like that. There's a lot going on. What you do as a driver in terms of inputs has a massive effect on the energy side of things. For me, that's just not Formula One. Maybe it's then better to drive Formula E, right? Because that's all about energy, efficiency, and management.
Yeah.
The undoubted number one star of Formula One. Now, there will be people come back at me going, no, he's not. He is. That's objective. It's not subjective. He is the number one drawer in F1 right now, whether you like it or not. And he comes out and he says, that's not a Formula One car.
Yeah, it's not great, is it?
Yeah.
I mean, I get where he's coming from in a way. It's always been very much, Formula One's always been, the way they've described it, it's like it's man and machine. You know what I mean? And it's having this absolute animal of a machine that you've got to try and harness and wrestle. It's effectively How to Train Your Dragon, but with a car. And but it is though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Seeing them be able to handle cars like that, with, don't forget these have got no traction control, no ABS, no nothing. And seeing the way they've been able to harness them in years gone by has been absolutely incredible, and on the ragged edge of everything, of what a human can handle. It's like a fighter jet for the road, isn't it, effectively? And so I understand if you're having to limit your driving speed and pace to go, we'll need a bit more energy for my battery, and I've got to manage a bit, and I can understand where he's coming from on that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the regulations aren't going to suit everyone. We knew that. The regulations never suit everyone.
No. I just think, like, coming back to what you said there, is like man and machine, like on the ragged edge.
Yeah.
That's what Formula One's meant to be. It's meant to be the ragged edge, the cutting edge of technology and speed and driver capability, all thrown in together. But when you're having to manage your speed around certain corners where you know physically you could drive that car faster because you're not going to be able to go as fast as you want down the next straight.
Yes.
Instead of being able to go, right, I can floor it now all the way out of here. I've got to hold. It feels like you got to do maths behind the wheel to know whether or not you got the power to go slightly faster over the next 200 meters rather than being able to go full out. I completely get what that's not Formula One for me. Just like I've watched it like most of my life, and it's always been, how fast can we make this thing go?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And not just how fast can we make this thing go, am I brave enough to make it go as fast as it can go?
Yeah. That's it. Well, you'd have iconic moments, don't you? Like, I can never remember who was overtaken, but it was Fernando Alonso. It was a left-hand turn, and he overtook this fella at full pelt round this. I'm sure it was a Suzuka. And he overtook him full pelt around the outside of a corner. And he said, well, I knew he would brake because he's got a wife and kids. And you're like, I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Yeah.
And it's the fact that whereas now, what we're saying is you go, well, you know, I couldn't overtake him there because I had to lift and coast to charge my battery. Is that what we're going to say? Do you know what I mean? That's a sad state of affairs.
Yeah. There's another, it's a Christine Horner thing, actually. Christian Horner was asked, when did you know that you weren't going to make it to the top level of racing?
Right.
And he went, well, he goes, I was coming out of the pit of a race, and the guy in front of me, basically, as I kind of slotted in behind him, he just went round this corner, and I knew my car was capable of doing that.
Yeah.
But mentally, I wasn't.
That's it.
I knew at that moment.
Yeah.
Like my brain could not override the signals that my body was like, no, you're in danger. So he goes, I knew right then and there, I wasn't going to make it to the top. And you're like, no, fair play to you. But that's what it is, isn't it? It's but like Alonso kind of backed that up, and I'll read what Alonso said. What about, like, you're saying about, like, charging my battery here and there, lifting and coasting. You used to, this is at Bahrain, by the way, for anyone listening, you used to choose your downforce level to go turn 12 just flat. So you remove downforce until you're in turn 12 just flat with new tyres, and then in the race. So it was driver skill, decisive factor to go fast on a lap time. Now in turn 12, we're like 50 kilometres slower because we don't want to waste energy there. We want to have it all on the straight.
Yeah.
30 to 35 mile an hour slower.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can go a little bit faster on the straight.
Sad. That's sad. Do you know what it's actually like? It is exactly now they've made Formula One into scale electrics, where you have to let off the throttle around the corner in case you end up with your car under the dining table.
Yeah.
That's what they've done. In case the car just gets yeeted off the track, they have made it slower. I mean, we've all seen it when you see F1 cars, and especially, say, the 2020 Mercedes. You saw that thing going flat around corners. It should never have been possible. I'm sorry how that thing went round those corners at that pace. But when you watched it, it filled you with a sense of amazement. It was like, what on earth just happened? Did he really go flat out, full throttle around that corner?
Yeah.
And now it's going to be a case of, oh, well, I'll take this corner slower because I need a bit of battery and I need to get it around that corner. That's not good, man.
Yeah.
That's.
I just think come back to like I was saying before about the Parabolica.
Yeah.
At Monza, are they going to be going 50, 60 kilometers slower around that so they got more battery along the straight to the first corner? When as straightforward as Monza is as a track, it's a straight, a chicane, a bendy straight, a chicane, couple of right-handers, another straight, a chicane, a straight, and then the Parabolica. Like that's it's dead because it's flat out, isn't it? You come out of that first chicane, the bendy straight.
I just love the bendy straight. I love that.
I call it a bendy straight because it's flat out, isn't it? You come out of turn 2, the chicane, and you're flat out till the next chicane, and then you got the 2 quick right-handers, and then you're flat out to the next chicane, and then you're flat out to the Parabolica, a slight lift, but then you're nailing it like after that lift through the Parabolica, down the main straight, and you're back to corner 1 and then the bendy straight again.
I like that. That's good.
Well, is it going to be right? Well, we're braking hard for the chicane. Go for the chicane. Right, we're deploying down the straight. Right, now we're going to lift around the Parabolica.
Yeah, I get you.
And one of the great sights at Monza is seeing those cars row themselves around that Parabolica onto that main straight.
Yeah.
Are they going to be lifting like there so they can deploy? And you're looking at it going, oh well, they're just coasting around that bit. So it just doesn't sit right. It really doesn't sit right with me. When you got the likes of Max saying that it's about managing your energy level, then you've got Alonso saying it's just about managing your energy levels. Now, in fairness to Alonso, he did say after that it's F1 and F1's changing all the time. But I don't think it's ever changed in such a way that's like you said, let's make them slower. But then, like Lewis, was I put the Lewis quote up now. It's like, and this is along the same thing with the energy and the boost and the management and all of that. And he said none of the fans are going to understand it. I don't think it's so complex. It's ridiculously complex. I sat in a meeting the other day and they're taking us through it, and it's like you need a degree to fully understand it all.
Yeah. Well, it's no wonder me and you don't get it.
Yeah, I mean,
good grief.
I'm working on a computer and IT degree. I don't get it. I don't get it.
No.
But that's going to be it. I mean, you were saying the other week about getting frustrated about, drawing lines on the track and everything about, where they can overtake. It's going to be graphs and pie charts, and you're going to see Karun Chanduk at the Sky Paddock, like trying to explain to somebody why you need 4 AAA Duracells instead of 3. And then, I just don't understand it at all.
It's going to be like that film, The Social Network, where he's writing the code for Facebook on his window at the dorm, like trying to work it out. You know what I mean? It's like all this just drawing on his window. Or when you see one of those mad scientists, and you look at their blackboard, and it's just crazy equations. It's going to be like that. I understand they're trying to do something to make it, trying to, whether it's modernizing it or whatever, and trying to make it more exciting. The problem is they've always said they're doing these regulations because it's going to make the cars smaller in width and length. They're going to be able to go closer together. It's going to be better racing. It's going to be more action and all that. And yet, everything we've seen so far, every single team has said, no, it's going to be exactly the same with traveling close to each other. There's not going to be any improvements in that. And then, good grief, 3 of the best drivers on the grid, Max Verstappen, Fernando Alonso, and Lewis Hamilton, are all saying there's an issue. Well, that's not a great start, is it?
Yeah. Max,
do you know what I mean?
Even went as far as saying like they're anti-racing.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Like I said, it's one of the other things that's just piled onto the list of like worry for me.
Yes, that's it.
But like, they're not the only people to speak out. There have been a couple of people who've kind of not necessarily disagreed, although maybe slightly. But we had Norris respond to Max, and I don't think either of us were kind of impressed with his approach.
No.
So he said, I had a lot of fun. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, if he wants to retire, he can retire. Formula One changes all the time. Sometimes it's a bit better to drive, sometimes not as good to drive. But yeah, we get paid the stupid amount of money to drive, so you can't really complain at the end of the day. Any driver can go find something else to do, you know. It's not like he has to be here or any driver has to be here.
The thing is with that, right? Max wasn't complaining. He was asked his opinion. He didn't jump out the car, throw his steering wheel at his mechanic's head and have a rant. He was purely asked his opinion about the car. And yeah, all right, if Max wants to retire, he can retire. But the only reason Lando wants Max to retire is because, well, he's the biggest thorn in his side. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's. I just thought the thing is, I always liked Lando. He was very much. I always saw him as like he was very down to earth. He was clearly a great driver, and I just saw him as he seemed. You know, when you see somebody get interviewed, they seem very approachable. Like if you ever went, if you ever managed to meet him and said, "Hey Lando, can I buy you a drink and we can talk F1?" I reckon you could have cracking, a pint with him for half an hour and talk F1, and it'd be amazing just to sit down and talk. And I think he'd be one of those people you could do that with. Whereas, oh man, in the past sort of 12 months, the statements he comes out with are just ludicrous. I mean, you've only got to look at Brazil when Max went from, what was it, 17th to first, and he goes, "Yeah, but there's no skill, it's just luck." And you're like, no, your drive had no skill in it. That's why you went from first to wherever you went. You're just making ridiculous statements now.
Yeah.
And I'm not just saying that as a Max fan, but when somebody's asked their opinion on something, you can't then just turn around and go, "Oh, well, if they don't like it, they can leave." Well, you didn't say that about Hamilton or Alonso. Why are you just picking on what Max said? Do you know what I mean?
I do like Lando, but I do think he was just a bit out of order there. Like,
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't like it, he can go do something else. Like, well, you're basically saying because you get paid a lot of money to do this, you can't have a thought and you can't have an opinion on it. That doesn't sit right with me, because actually the ones who should have thoughts and should have opinions on these cars are the ones behind the wheels. Yeah, you might have enjoyed it. That's fine. That's great. That's perfect.
Great.
That's perfectly valid. It's not like Max hasn't adapted to it, because he was only a tenth off your speed on day one. You know what I mean? He's not that far behind. It's not like he hasn't adapted to it. He's just saying he doesn't like it. Doesn't mean he's not going to be quick. It doesn't mean he's not going to put in a fight. It just means he's not having fun behind the wheel. And he's got every right to say that. And for you to go, well, if you're not having fun, do one because we get paid enough. I think in that case, and I said this to you before, I don't want to hear a single word out of Lando all year about his car. I don't want to care if it was a bit snappy or a bit understeery. I don't care if his engine wasn't given him the amount of power. He's getting paid enough to drive it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't complain.
Like, just turn the logic back on him. Like, I want to hear the driver say the car was feeling like this, or I wasn't really enjoying this bit, or I absolutely loved that, and I felt like I was one with the car. I want to hear that. I want to hear the drive. I don't want to hear the PR line.
Exactly. That's it.
We said this at the closed testing, didn't we, about all the drivers just seen coming out with the PR line. I don't want to hear that. I want the age of, your Louders and your Hunts and where they just basically tell you what was on their mind. And that's what I love about Max. He's a breath of fresh air in a very PR trained world.
Yes.
And no matter what Red Bull tried to do PR wise with him, he's just like, I don't care. I'm just going to say what's on my mind. And yeah, I just think it was. Lando could have just said, well, yeah, I actually really enjoyed it. Obviously Max isn't, but, we'll see how it develops. He could have just said that.
Yeah, well, exactly, yeah. Or, it's the same as anything. If somebody asks me what you think about something, I'll go, I don't know, but I know I enjoyed it. You'd have to ask him what he thinks. But, I'm okay with it. You know what I mean? It's more than anything, I think. When new regulations come in, we need to genuinely know what the drivers think of it.
Yeah.
Because when the rules are going to change, because they will change again, all regulations change, they only last so long. You want to make sure it's not only exciting for the viewers, but it's exciting for the drivers. Because if the drivers aren't enjoying it, we're not going to enjoy watching it.
Mm.
It's like with anything. If when you're watching somebody and they're clearly passionate about what they're doing, it's enjoyable to watch.
Yeah.
And it's the same as you watch a great actor in a film. They're a great actor because they are passionate about it. And so they put in 110% of the effort because they love it.
Yeah.
And it's the same with this. Max wasn't saying it to go, well, it's rubbish this. He's got a good car, clearly, this year. But that's not the point. He wasn't asked about that. He was asked about the regulation and what he thought of it. And he gave an honest opinion of what he thinks.
Yeah.
And there's no problem with that. But don't then just come out going, oh, well, he can retire if he wants to. It's like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I was wasn't impressed with the Norris quote, but I was more miffed off with the Russell one. To be fair.
Go on.
But just from... Russell's the Grand Prix Drivers Association, president, right?
Yeah.
So he come out as Lando said, we're privileged to be in this position. Honestly, I just want to win. Every driver who's won recently just wants the best car and to enjoy it as much as possible. So yes, I guess Max Verstappen can always go racing on the Nordschleife. Again, well, if you're not enjoying it, go do something else.
Yeah.
And what's with the attacks? You're the Grand Prix Drivers Association president. You could basically just go, I enjoyed it. Lando enjoyed it. There's a couple of people who aren't enjoying it right now, but we'll see how it plays out. You got to attack Max for some reason. And maybe it could be you were asked what you think about Max's comments, but again, you can go, well, he didn't enjoy it, but I did. That's for both of them to be like, well, he can just go do something else.
Unfortunately, Lando and George both suffer with the same illness, which is verbal diarrhea. Because, no, seriously.
No, with you on it.
Because you've only got to look at it right. At the end of every race, last season and the one before, anytime Max and Lando raced anywhere near each other, within 50 foot of each other, at the end of every single race, Lando would say, oh, well, you just never know what's going to happen when you race against Max. And Piastri would pull the most ridiculous face behind his back ever seen because he knew it was rubbish, right? And then you've got the likes of George Russell, where last year he managed to say to, was it Ted, when he was doing Ted's Notebook, hey, come over here and I'm going to tell you the story. And then he comes out with, Max said he's going to smash my head into the wall. And you're like, did he really say that? Because apparently you're saying he said it in the steward's office and you're saying the stewards didn't give any kind of punishment or anything, as if somebody could make a threat like that in front of the stewards. It's not like he said it in the changing room. Do you know what I mean? What you're coming out with is total lies. But in the same sense, Russell on camera at the beginning of a race said, oh, well, if it's not a Mercedes, I'm just going to put it into the wall. Ha 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 ha. You're like, do you listen to yourself when you talk?
Yeah.
Both of them talk so much rubbish, it's unbelievable. And I don't understand it. It was the same. I've always said, I really liked Russell when he was at Williams.
Yes.
And he is clearly a great driver. I'm not taking that away from him. He is a really good driver. But as soon as he knew he was looking for that Mercedes seat. I mean, let's face it, he crashed into Bottas and then walked over to Bottas and slapped him over the head. Why? You crashed into him.
Yeah.
The arrogance is unbelievable.
There was definitely a switch once he got that Mercedes. Once he knew he was in that Mercedes seat, there was definitely some sort of switch, like in his whole attitude. He was so likable at Williams, so likable.
Oh, he was, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But yeah, something changed. Don't know what it was, but he's been a very. It's weird because sometimes he shows kind of like flashes of being that same likable guy that he was at Williams.
He does,
and you're like, oh,
he does.
Yeah, okay. But other times, like,
yeah,
there's a sense of entitlement there that you've got no right to. You haven't earned it. You know.
Yeah.
You seem to think that, like, you're promised a world championship in your future, but there's been plenty of very good drivers, potential world champions who've come and gone, who never had that sense of entitlement and never quite made it there, but were good enough.
Yeah.
To pick a few from the past, Ricciardo, Coulthard, those kind of drivers who had the potential to be world champions, but never had that entitlement. They just went and tried to do their job.
Yeah.
But he seems to have this weird sense of entitlement every now and again.
Without a doubt.
And I just think that comment, like, Max can go race the Nordschleife if he wants to. There's no need for it. Yeah, yes, he can. And if things do go the way they are, he probably will.
But the difference is Max can go and race the Nordschleife on his weekend off, dominate there, and then come back and still beat you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't see why these two have to make such ridiculous comments.
No.
Why can't they just say, I can't speak for Max, but I'm really enjoying the car.
It's that simple.
It's a shame that he isn't. That's it.
It's that simple.
Yeah. Not everyone. The thing is, it was the same as, was it last? Yeah, it was 2025 season. And it was after one of the races. And Hamilton just made a comment to Lando and said, wow, that McLaren's really quick. And straight away, Lando just goes, well, you had the fastest car for 7 years. Now it's my turn. Being really snotty. And you're like, well done. He just said your car's quick. That's all he said.
Yeah.
Don't, you know what I mean? He was giving you a compliment.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking anything away from you. Do you know what I mean?
I saw that a lot of the time. It's like down to your delivery.
Of course it is.
Like the delivery there, like if it had been dead jokey going, well, you had it for 7 years, it's someone else's turn. No other batter than I.
Exactly.
A little bit of banter, but the way he kind of delivered it was like, oh, come on. And I sometimes think, I am one, like, and I would say, like, I don't really want the PR training, but sometimes it's not about PR training. Sometimes it's about just talking about what you know.
Of course it is.
And what you don't know is how somebody else is actually really feeling towards something.
Exactly.
And, bit of a controversial thing for someone to say on an F1 podcast where we're talking about all this stuff, but at the same time, like, we're just seeing what the drivers are saying about each other and kind of reacting to it.
Oh yeah.
But I was disappointed in what Lando said, but then I was more disappointed in kind of George almost like piling on. Yeah. Because of his position amongst the drivers. Because Max should be able to go to the president of the Drivers Association and go, by the way, I've got an issue that we need to talk about. You're not going to do that if your driver's out there, if your president's out there throwing slide digs.
No, of course not.
But coming to the, could Max potentially walk away? Well, yeah. He's said before, hasn't he? Like, if he's not enjoying himself, he's not sticking around for world records.
No.
And in response to what Max said, the chief technical engineer.
Yes.
Yeah, Wash. So I've got his quote. And I think he's missed the mark with this as well, because I've got something else that Max said as well.
Yeah.
We can make him happy by winning the race. My job and the job of the team at my level is to make sure that we give him the tool that he's able to compete at the front. The regulation itself and how the car design is in terms of how we feel with the car due to this regulation is an outside area. They seem to be of the belief that even if he's not enjoying it, as long as he's winning, he'll stay.
Yeah.
And that's completely missing what Max himself has been saying for the past 2-3 years.
Yeah.
You know, and he's even said it recently, like in the last week. So what he said was, a winning car for me, that doesn't matter. It needs to be fun to drive as well. I think at this stage of my career, also explore things outside of Formula One to have fun at. I know that we're stuck with this regulation for a while, so yeah, let's see.
Yeah. I think, it's hard to say at this stage, isn't it? Because whilst it is only testing, how much will it change when there is 22 cars on track chasing each other? So whilst this regulation, if you're a lonely car on track, like the other day, and he's doing over 100 laps, he might not be enjoying it. But when you're chasing down 2 or 3 other cars, you're using a bit of your boost, a bit of active aero, bit of bit of the overtake mode and things like that. Will it become more enjoyable because it is down to, is it the skill of the driver? Is it your engine slightly better? Is it, I wonder how his opinion will change when he actually gets into the races, because we don't know what it'll be like in an actual race scenario.
No. I think just going off what he's said himself is he just wants to be a pure racer.
Oh, I get that. Yeah.
He wants that. He wants to be able to be like, right, if this car can do 180 around this bend, it's doing 180 around this bend.
Yeah, of course.
If it can do 340 kilometers on the straight, it's going to do 300. He likes to be at that. And then the rest of the stuff, the fighting, he'll do at that ragged edge.
Of course.
I think that's how he likes it. Like, if I'm not going to fight you 50 mile an hour slower than these cars are capable of, because where's the fun in that? The fun for him is fighting people at the ragged edge, at the limit. And I do wonder if it might be a little bit more exciting when you're kind of messing with dials and trying to figure out where you've got to lift and coast to get the battery to overtake the guy in front of you. But I think part of him still going to be like, I can make this thing go faster.
Yeah,
if they could just let me put my foot down. I wonder if that frustration will just build, that he can't drive the thing full out.
It might do.
And it's like, it just becomes an exercise in maths. Like, where do I lift? How do I lift? Where can I put that?
I would hate to see that in a way. Don't get me wrong. Max will retire when he retires. He's doing that many other things outside of F1 anyway. He has built his own race team. He's got plenty of other projects going on. But I would prefer to see him leave F1 because he goes, right, really enjoyed myself, but I've now got, projects going on here, there, and whatever, and can't give it my all, rather than I'm really not enjoying it anymore. I'm going because of a regulation change. That would be such a shame. But I hope it changes for him as the season progresses.
Yeah.
Because, like I say, we are only in testing. Maybe it will be different when all the cars are on track. There are quite a few kinks to iron out. Who knows? But I would not like to see that be the end of his career because he no longer enjoys Formula One. That'd be a great shame for any driver, not just Max. I wouldn't like to see that from anyone.
Yeah, I think it's just that it is the danger, though, that because he is enjoying so much more outside of F1. Like, this is how big of a draw Max Verstappen is. The qualifying for the Nürburgring 24 hours has been moved to accommodate him.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so other disciplines are going, well, we can get Max racing for us. Like, in our discipline, fantastic, let's do it. If he's, you know, in his downtime, in inverted quotes, if he's having an absolute whale of a time and just absolutely loving, Verstappen racing, getting that off the ground, and working with those bunch of lads who he's got racing there, and then doing the sim stuff, and if he's just finding that outside of Formula One, he is living his best life. But whenever he pulls on that Red Bull jumpsuit, he's just like, right, I got to do this for the next couple of days.
Yeah, I get that.
I think that frustration could build very, very quickly. And I know he's contracted till 2028, but if he wanted to walk away at the end of 2026, I don't think there's anything that could stop him.
No.
So it is my worry that he just enjoys stuff far too much outside of F1. That the small things irritate him even more. Like, if he wasn't enjoying himself so much outside, he could probably ride a couple of the rough things and just adapt here and there, and be like, well, it's still all right. But if you're having a whale of a time elsewhere and you've got to go suit up to go do something else because that's what you're being paid to do,
isn't it?
Those frustrations grow quicker than they ordinarily would. And I think that's my worry, because I said it before, he's the star of Formula One right now. There's a lot of really good, fantastic, top quality drivers in Formula One. But Max is the draw. He's the joker in the pack at the moment for F1.
I think it's the same as, it's the way, like, everyone speculated Hamilton will retire at the end of the 2026 season. We have no idea if that's true. We just know he's contracted for 2 years at Ferrari. Well, if he is gonna retire, I'd love to see him have a great year in Formula One. Not necessarily champion. I don't know if the Ferrari's incapable of it yet, but just have a good year. Not like the last year of Ferrari or the past few years at Mercedes, where it's been very, very hard going.
Yeah.
And it's not great to watch any driver go through that. So I think if any drivers are going to retire, I'd love to see, for one, it's got to be on their own terms, regardless of what it is. I wouldn't like to see Hamilton leave because he purely made a bad decision going to Ferrari and it's all gone to pot. I wouldn't like to see Max leave because the regulations are making it not enjoyable. That's not good.
No.
You should never hear a driver say F1 is not enjoyable anymore.
No,
the cars aren't that good. That should never be a sentence coming out of anyone's mouth.
That is the massively concerning thing for me. Is that
it is. You've
got more than one driver going, this doesn't quite feel like it.
Yeah.
It's definitely been an absolute kind of like switch from 2 weeks ago. Like I said before, where everything felt dead positive. We were getting good vibes from the drivers. It's great seeing the cars on track. It's great that we got to see some from testing and everything like that. And we got testing coming up in, according to that timer there, 32 hours, 23 minutes and 59 seconds.
Love it.
We're going to see more of it. And what I'm hoping is that whatever programs they were running, whatever tests they were doing, whatever they were all doing with their cars, next week or in the next couple of days when they hit track again, we're seeing more of like the race sim, and we're seeing more of what the cars are really capable of, and whether that will switch a few things in a few drivers' minds.
Definitely.
But we're not really going to know exactly what these cars can do until, where are we now? 3 weeks?
Yeah, in fact, I'll tell you, hold on. So, at the time we're recording this, it is 17 days, 1 hour and 23 minutes until the start of the Australia F1 race.
Yeah, so 2.5 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's when we'll know. Q1. we'll know exactly what those cars are capable of.
Yeah.
And who's got acclimatized to them the best over the last couple of weeks.
Without a doubt. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, let's see what testing 2 brings us.
And
we'll see if we can find out any more information.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hope there's less stupid comments.
Yeah, more car data, less controversy is what we're what we're hoping for. But I do think that. Is that everything? Yeah, it is, isn't it? I think.
Yeah.
I was like, there was something about Ferrari, and it was the starting procedure. Sorry,
it was. Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that brings us to a close on what we want to discuss tonight. But
I think that does. Yeah.
If you've been listening to us and you've got your own thoughts, your own comments, your own questions that you want to ask our opinions on, do leave them down in the comments. Do give the video a like. If you're hearing it for the first time, welcome in, and do hit that subscribe button. But we will be back next week with more testing discussion, I suppose.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Look forward to it.
Yeah. So until then, thanks for listening, and take care.